Hello and welcome to Trade Pro Labs. Today we're live from AIBC. We just got off the stage with an amazing panel and we've got Adrain Niculescu with us today. He was one of the panelists with myself. We'd just like to talk to you guys a little bit more about crypto. So Adrain, tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what you're doing right now.
Thank you very much, Adrain, for the invitation and also for the contribution in the panel. I'm Adrain Niculescu. I'm a serial entrepreneur and investor. I'm for the fourth time in Malta, so I could become a regular. And I love that in November is very nice sunny weather. Last year it was cold for a swim in the sea, but maybe this year I will take a shot. I did it in 2019 and it was very nice. Of course, compared to Dubai, is cold here, but compared to Bucharest, it's a little bit of summer. So I'm involved in blockchain since 2016, and I've started then. It was I don't know, by chance. I was doing marketing projects on Upwork, and I was contacted by a project saying that, okay, we need some help with marketing in Europe. And that one was actually the first moment for me when I received, you can call salary or reward in coins, in tokens, which was a shift in my mindset about that. And slowly, I'm talking about Cloudcoin. It's a project I'm still with today, which is a post-blockchain digital currency. It works for almost 6 years. And I have this project on the communication side, on business partnerships, and I have an advisory role. Also, I'm involved in other projects. I have what I call a complex and actual CEO, CMO, VC, mentor, advisor experience, and I try to be a contributor in this space. As we've discussed before, it doesn't matter if it's bear market or bull market, because there are cycles. What's important when you are part of the industry, what you are doing to help that industry evolve. And even when I'm going to events, I'm not pitching myself. I not say, okay, do this, do that. I try all the time to push some ideas, some concepts, which could be relatable to the people in the room, and also to make them think, to make them change something for the better. Because I believe a lot in the ethical way of doing things. And of course, because we've discussed before that, when you are an entrepreneur, you will fail. It's impossible not to fail.
It's just a matter of when. Yeah. It's just how long it's going to take, right?
It's a big difference between how we are thought about failing in the formal education and how you do it as an entrepreneur and later as an investor or as an entrepreneur and an investor. Because with the formal education, when you fail, let's say when you have bad grades, you are considered a failure and you may be labeled as one, which especially for the kids can be very dangerous. As an entrepreneur, the more you will fail, but you will improve, or you will fail forward, it's called, you will do things better next time, until among these failures, you will find also successes. If you are afraid of failures, if you are afraid of looking bad in the eyes of others, it will be very complicated for you to grow. So even investors, when they look at entrepreneurs to put bets on, they look at the psychological profile, because you have on the other side the people who are used to scam others, to steal money from projects, to do rug pulls. By the way, rug pull is invented recently. Why I don't remember 10 years ago to hear about it, And when this happens usually, and of course everybody has a chance to improve about how they behave, what they're all about, But besides the failures, which are normal, which are recognizable, which are part of our human being, are these models where everything is done in a certain way, so to do bad for the stakeholders, And this is something very bad, which unfortunately in crypto it's happening a lot. It will happen not at this level um, when this market will be regulated. So until now, it's happening, probably will happen. And as an investor and also as an entrepreneur, you need to become what I'm calling a very good superior pattern recognizer, to see some signs that things are not as they should be. Because when you are involving in projects, as an entrepreneur, as a team member, you will also have some liabilities which will be associated to you. Some liabilities you know about, and some liabilities you don't know about, but you will find out when the things and if the things will go wrong. And uh, there are things which may damage your reputation, which may damage your financial sanity, and even your how to say your freedom. I'm talking about, I don't know, you can spend time in jail if you do certain type of mistakes, So even the level of failing should be, uh, I don't know, you have to think about at least until what level you want to fail if you can that. It's like, okay, if we are in a conflict, I always have um, uh, two possibilities. One of them is to, I don't know, to come to talk to you and potentially solve that, or to call some guys to kick you out and something like that, which could damage you a lot, and will put us in a very bad position. This is an extreme example, but I believe you always have a choice to manage things, you know. And even when you do investments, you put everything in one potentially nest egg. This can happen to regular people and even to institutional investors, because that thing will change the world, But sometimes that thing could be a very well orchestrated scam, which is very well designed by copywriters, by marketing people, to look in a certain way to lure you, And when it fails. You can control what is happening, but you will be liquidated somehow.
Like we've seen right now with the whole FTX thing, right? I mean,
I'm not in a position to comment that because I'm not involved, so I'm looking at it from outside, from the media perspective, and usually what it happens with tabloids, when something bad happens, they dig it a lot because this is what people are looking for to read, You don't want to read about the founder's struggles, how they are dealing with their thoughts, with their potentially, I don't know, suicidal thoughts when things go wrong, about their routines, but you want to read, of course, when they do an exit and they are multimillionaires, or when they do something so bad that everybody's talking about it, So the struggles of an entrepreneur are not some subjects people want to read about. In this case, probably it was a matter of not managing the risk. It's like with other platforms which failed, and I don't understand how this happened, because when you, let's say, when you promise a return for something, it needs to be backed by a business model, how that return is generated, and sometimes people at all levels, they are lured by the reward, but don't even ask about how that reward is generated. You know, if that reward is generated from deposits from other people, sooner or later it will dry out. But if there is a business model, a sustainable one, which could be verified, generating those rewards, doesn't matter if they are high or low, we have a totally different discussion. But if the risk is not managed, it's, let's say, just hypothetically, you have investors or backers, because sometimes you can't call the people investors because the space is not regulated, you know. But in our slang, people, users who buy some tokens are considered
As
themselves
investors,
investors,
yeah.
you know.
Correct.
This is how this works, you know. And when, let's say, there is the platform X promising investors that if you keep the funds here, you will get 10%. If there is a business model generating this 10%, it's okay. But if the model is that the platform will find other protocols offering 20% and they will earn from the difference, in this case, and this was the source of many problems, the risk was not managed. So when that platform offering 20% failed, it was eaten not only the rewards, the potential rewards, but also the principal. So everything fall down. You know, and sometimes I said, okay, how people who are savvy, who were also in this market in the previous crisis, in 2008, 2009, cannot look at these basic elements is something I don't understand. Maybe it was done like that by design. It was all orchestrated. I'm not in a position to say that, but because I'm doing a lot of teaching, a lot of education, I try to transmit these ideas to think all the time as an investor or a small backer for a project, you know, to think all the time about things which can happen, which are totally outside of your control. That's why I said, don't put everything on one project, even if it looks spectacular. Diversify. Diversify between assets, diversify between, let's say, cryptos. I'm using a very basic and boring formula, which worked pretty well. I'm calling it 40-40-20. It's like 40% on top 10. Of course, this is not investment advice, it's just for entertainment, but I'm sharing from my experience, you know. It's 40% on top 10, 40% on top 100, but you have to study about these projects, you know, and 20% in high risk, high reward things. And if we are looking, let's say, in the past at Terra, for example, for somebody having, let's say, 40% on the allocation, split it in 10 projects, and Terra being one of them, there's no damage here, you know, because it's a small percentage you are losing, which could be made back from other assets, you know. But if everything was there, this could be the source of a very different situation. So I like to educate about how to fish, not necessarily about what to fish, you know. And usually I'm doing it from the type of education which I didn't have when I started, so I failed like crazy. You can't believe how crazy I failed. So maybe other people to do it in the right way. Of course, nobody knows exactly the markets, but nobody should be in a position, let's say, to lose everything and to be liquidated from the market because they didn't do some very small and basic precautions. And the more we are educated, like normal people, like investors, like entrepreneurs, the less we we put ourselves in very dangerous situations for our life, because look at how many people of 30s and 40s are dying by heart attacks, you know, and one of the sources for that is our stress. When we look at the charts, when we read about a project, we have a small staking where, I don't know, the people run away with the money. You know, these things, they have um, results in our health. You know, the heart is pumping in a different way. You have certain emotions. You use some muscles, and if you put also, I don't know, some alcohol, some cigarettes, or some forbidden substances, or if you eat only junk food, besides that, it will be something which may kill you. And
100%.
there are so many people, and is for the humanity is a big loss for people in 30s and 40s to die like that, you know. And many of the causes are related to these markets, the investment markets. If you look at the charts in the morning, if you have these roller coaster of emotions the whole day, this may kill you. It's like cancer, and it can become a cancer. So people should look at things also from this human perspective, you know, to become better human beings by looking at these elements.
Yeah, I believe it's very important. The mindset. Just want to touch on a couple of things you've mentioned. So, first and foremost, the failures. I believe that startups should talk about some of their failures and difficulties they're going through, because from an investment perspective, most of it's fluffed up and a lot of FOMO in respect to what the project is doing, media articles, publications, etc. And the problem you have is the startup is trying to sell their positive things. But as an investor, we want to know that they actually went through difficult times to reach the point they have reached, because they're going to get hit with difficult times, whether it's bear market or bull market. Their success and their failure is dependent on themselves, the team, the CEO, the founder. Because if that individual can bear the brunt and go through difficult trials and tribulations through emerging markets, downtrends, uptrends, exactly what's going on right now, he's got a very, very strong power of success and a strong opportunity for success. Also, want to touch about the mindset. Obviously, mindset is so important, because as you know, as you just spoke, young people getting heart attacks because you're seeing the volatility on what's happening on the charts, and they haven't experienced it before, and they don't know what to do, because they find themselves in predicaments that they haven't. As you can see, younger individuals stress more because they haven't gone through those difficult times and those downtrends. I mean, yourself speaking about a couple of your failures, that's amazing, because it builds up character. If you've been through a couple of cycles and some things fail, because that is the business we're in, things are going to go wrong. You need to be able to expect that things are going to go wrong. And that's what makes a strong and a great entrepreneur.
You know, the culture of failures is something new, because until 2 3 years ago, it was like a taboo subject, you know, until it was open up. But coming to what I shared in the panel, that we people, we are wired for shortcuts. So we want everything very fast. We want to become millionaires overnight. We want to put $100 in this project and next Lambo, right? So this creates a lot of ripples and a lot of ways of seeing things from this perspective. So, for example, when you are selling a course or a coaching program, for people to buy, you need to tell them that it's easy to achieve, which is the objective of that course or coaching, you know? So selling has to show them that it's actually very easy to go from point A to point B, where the point B is the promise of that project, you know? But when people will start to implement, they will find that it's actually very hard. But if you tell them that it will be very hard to achieve that goal, they will never buy. Somehow, is the same with the projects and with investment. If you tell them, we will work for 5 years and maybe we will reach a certain point where maybe we will make a break even of something, nobody will put any dime there. So that's why you have to put everything in the positive perspective, but also this has to be done in an ethical way. But because I'm betting all the time on people, on character, and even on the possibility for everybody to become a better human being. There are people who've made in the past atrocious things, but they find a way to change totally, and everybody has to have this chance. It's like if somebody, I don't know, fail like crazy, but if they are working, they become something else. It's normal that society should support that. But it all comes to the human nature. Of course, if somebody is only, I don't know, I'm promoting all the scams possible, nobody's doing anything in profit by myself. It's a way of doing things. It's a way of life, and this is who you are, and it's totally your decision. But especially when you spend a lot of time learning something, if you go to a school, university, if you do courses, do you want to use your potential to be like that? Is it worth it?
That is the question.
Yes. It's always a relationship between the risk and reward, you know? And of course, you can make money in many ways, but many ways are damaging to all the people around you, to the planet, and to everything. And sooner or later, you will find out that the nature will not sustain you. It's one thing. Also, you see that investments for good, or business for good, meaning that those businesses or those investments are done for projects, business ideas, adding value to the whole ecosystem, making the humanity better. It's a very good goal to have, because you can be in a business to destroy the planet. But sooner or later, this ecosystem, this nature around us, will will have something to discuss with you. And usually, there are things which are terrible. You don't want to be there. These were some thoughts. We didn't have something prepared before, right?
Yes.
So the flow came by itself.
Yes, yes. Thank you
I
so
trust
much for that.
Whoever is watching will take at least one idea which could be implemented so they will become better in a certain direction. And I want to quote here Tony Robbins saying that information is only potential power. It becomes real power when it's applied. So if you found one good idea, put it to work, and I trust that it will work for you as it worked for others. Thank you very much
Amazing.
for the opportunity.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Adrian, for giving us this interview, guys. That's so much of value in that one short video. If you guys take attention to it, there's so much value in that. Please take a good review over it and watch it over and over again. Like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you, Adrian, for your time.
Thank you.